Hi there, Marilyn. I'm sorry I missed you, and I'm sorry I opened up the pens the wrong way. I read your account of how to do it. I have a feeling it was probably because I posted it, but I will. Would you like to come on board and scold me?
Checkers, and not as wicked as chess. Okay, you can. Okay.
You want to scold me very much?
Oh, hello.
Well, hello.
So I was kind of sad that I didn't get to be there on that call, because that would have been amazing. I would have been like,
would have been laughing.
I'd have been like, you're doing it wrong.
Well,
I think, okay, so the one with the silver cap,
yeah.
the cap nearest the.
Let me actually get them. They're right here.
Okay. So the little ring that goes between the cone and the thing, I may have put it on backwards.
Oh dear.
So with
So
this one, it only goes in one way.
Okay, hold on.
So
let me just turn my camera around.
I wasn't sure which way it was supposed to go in. I think I did it right, but I could be mistaken.
Okay, let me take the silver cap one out. So I'm just going to show you what I did when I filled both of these.
I can't see your hands. There we go.
What I did when I filled both of these, I filled them like I filled my 51. I didn't take the converter out. I left the converter in, just put this in ink and sucked up.
Right.
So I didn't remove. Oh, here's Kesh. Add to stream. I didn't remove anything. Right. So this, and you're saying that this piece of metal right here?
I believe it may be flipped, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't think it makes any difference.
Oh, okay.
But so I mean,
if it's done right, it shouldn't leak.
Okay, this one was not the one that leaked.
Oh, which one? The other one leaked. Okay, show me the other one.
Okay, the other one, and the other one, I think I figured out why. So this one, though, I just wanted to say that when I was filling it and unscrewed, this back thing and it pulled the ink up.
Where is it?
Well, when I unscrewed this, or when I turned this to pull the lever back, the suction thing back, I looked down and it didn't get anywhere. So I did it again and I pulled it back, and then it only, filled it to just a little tiny bit. It didn't fill it completely up. And the reason that it didn't do that, I realized, is because it filled all of this.
Yep.
And if I had filled it by taking it out and filling it, this would be full, but this would be empty. So actually, to fill this completely, if I wanted to fill this,
I'll tell you how that they teach us to fill it.
Yeah.
The new way.
Yeah.
Is when you're filling a pen from a bottle. I'll just show you because that'll be easier. Okay, so when you're filling from a bottle, they teach us now that. I'm just gonna go with Harper. I'm just gonna go with this ink because.
Who is the they?
The they is the Goulet Pen Company.
So, okay.
So they have a class called Fountain Pen 101.
Okay.
And they teach people how to use fountain pens.
Okay.
And so they teach us now to dip the pen in the ink, pull the ink up once.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get a very great fill, but then you push it back down into the bottle.
Yeah.
And it should bubble up.
Yeah.
And then you pull it back up again.
Oh, I see.
And you should get a full.
Okay.
You should get a pretty full.
Friedrich, I figured that was another way to do it. And
yeah.
I mean, Friedrich said to do it the way I thought, where if you wanted it full, you fill it once, take the converter out,
tip it upside down,
fill it again. And then, you've got all of the ink on the front. And, it's, I mean, the thing with a pen like this, if this was the only pen I had with me during a day of sketching or something, I would fill it all that way.
Right.
But because of any demonstrator, you can see by immediately looking at it how much ink you kind of have in it.
Right.
With this one, it's kind of hard because the ink might stain the plastic a little bit, so you might not really know, but it's okay. Yep. It's fine.
That one, I have no idea. That's the second fill it's ever had.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, if it does, it's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever.
Now this one.
It was a $2 pen. Yeah. That's why I was like.
Okay, this one.
That one has a very unique mechanism on the piston knob. If you pull the piston knob out, away from the body, you'll maneuver the piston. But if you push the piston into the body and you twist it, it will pull out the piston, and you'll be able to lock it so that when it's all the way down, when it's all the way tight, you can maneuver the ink all the way up into the barrel.
I see.
And then lock it so that way you can't twist it anymore.
Okay. Well, the reason it got inky is because I maybe was holding it in my hand with the cap, when the cap was on it, turned tight, and I probably moved something by mistake, and a drop of ink went into the cap, and then when it was in the cap, it got the shell all inky, and then my hand all inky.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I like both of these pens. They work surprisingly better than I thought they might.
They're not too bad. You're gonna with these types of pens. There's always gonna be like a good spot.
Yeah.
I found that even when I was writing with the 51s, because the really broad one, especially the really broad one, had like a very sweet spot. But the sharper one had less of a sweet spot, and you kind of had to search for it.
Yeah. Well, there are, I think any pen might have a sweeter spot.
Right.
That feels smoother, or where the pen, if it's really a broad nibbed pen, it has to have a sweet spot, because that's the only way that the ink can get to the paper.
Yeah.
But I was noticing that the line was skipping on one of these, and I can't remember which right now. One of the ones you sent me, and I don't think it was because it wasn't getting ink because I could see that there was ink up there. I think it was just because the
sweet spot was
I wasn't holding it the right way. I mean, here's my 51 Demi,
right,
which isn't making a line because I'm not on the sweet spot.
Right. If you turn it just right, yeah. That's the problem with these. There's no like, if you don't have very good eyes, the cone can look totally like it's gonna touch the thing, and then you turn it like 5 degrees, and then it totally goes.
Yeah.
So, but like out there, I mean, for the quality of the pens, I mean, for the price of the pens, the quality is very bad. But for the price of the pens, they write pretty good for being $2 and $3 pens.
Yeah, no, they're perfectly fine. They're, I have a feeling though, with any pen that is made of any sort that is made so inexpensively, that there are going to be certain things that will begin to fail on them, and the gold plating here will go away.
Oh yeah, that's not gold, by the way.
It's whatever.
It's just paint.
Whatever, but it's plated or painted or something. This one here, there's a little tiny bit of the little cap isn't exactly flesh.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So it has a sharp edge, and
it looks like a Franken pen
because it was maybe they don't care very much, and they don't drill the hole right, or they don't do something right. So there are little things like that may over time make something else fail. If the thing isn't centered exactly, it may have a problem. But again, for the price that it has, it's perfectly fine, and I enjoyed having them to play with. And
the one with the piston, I gotta say, once you empty it out, do you have a bulb syringe?
Yeah.
One of these. Oh,
yeah.
The piston one is the funnest to clean out.
Okay.
Because you pull you push it in, you unscrew the piston, you put the bulb syringe, and it goes whoosh, and in like one good go, it's completely clean. Okay. Maybe 2 good goes, but
okay. Well,
you know how I am about cleaning pens.
I do. I know how you are about it, and I was scolding you a little bit about that too, because
it's not necessarily about the cleaning of the pens that I care about. It's the mixing of the inks.
Yeah. I noticed that on the 51s that I got from you, there was a little bit of water that I think was inside the barrel here.
Yeah.
And because you cleaned it, because you are tidy, but there was just a little bit that ended up not being taken out, and moisture in there. So I was getting some
a little bit of droppage,
which is fine. It was a surprise. And then I remembered it was you. So the surprise went away. But anyway, thank you for sending them, and I enjoyed playing with them a little bit. I was planning on drawing with them today when I went out with my brother and Audrey to do some chores, but I didn't end up doing it. And hello, Carson. Carson loves our nerdy pen chats.
Oh,
Carson, so nice. Would you like to come on, in fact, and be a nerd? Show your nerdiness.
I hope I didn't break that little gold pen. I filled it with water. And
I showed you what went wrong there.
I don't know what happened.
It isn't you. It is.
Oh, it wasn't me. Okay.
No.
I saw that the sack looked very sad, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Is that what water does?" I'm like,
there are sacks that I have that other people have had these that were manufactured
not very well.
or something. And Rob Morrison tells me there was a whole bunch that a guy in Canada was making and selling them inexpensively, and people bought them because, you know, $2 a piece for a pen sack seemed exorbitant or something.
Right.
But so the pens with those sacks have been put out into the world.
Right. Not good.
But I think also the pen sack company in California that I buy pen sacks from for 30 years.
Right.
I think that they also had a bad batch that went out. So
well, I'm glad it wasn't me, because I was like,
do it all. I
was a little freaked out. I was like, because when I first got it, it seemed like it was holding ink.
Yeah.
But then, like the second time I tried to do it, it did nothing. Oh my God.
So it's just this. It's like a piece of gum.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's very.
And it's not like I was doing anything funny with it.
No, you weren't doing anything wrong. It's and I was just saying, you know,
terrifying.
There could be certain inks of any sort that don't like certain pens.
Right.
Pen sacks, but this is due not to that. It's due to something else. But I would just think that something like this would I mean, maybe what I can do.
I could understand if I put like Noodler's X Feather in it, or, you know, bleach or hydrogen peroxide, but I didn't do none of that.
Yeah. Maybe what I can do to test it, rather than putting them into maybe I can just take the sacks that I'm going to use and just set them in a glass,
or something.
You know, point down,
right,
and just fill the glass with a little bit of water.
Yeah.
And if they don't dissolve,
yeah,
you know, I'll know that they're okay. But I don't know what the dissolve rate is on these things. So,
I mean, I don't know. The new thing, I hear horrible things about the new sacks that are made these days.
Yeah.
It seems like people are replacing sacks faster than Carter had liver pills. So.
Does Carter even still exist to make liver pills?
I don't know. But
know.
All I know is that that's all it seems to be in the vintage, you know, community. There's like this thread, and it's like 85 million things long, and then there's like nibs, like 25. I'm like, oh my gosh. So everybody's always talking about the sacks failing. The sacks are failing. The sacks are failing. And I'm like, well, why didn't they fail before? I mean, what are they doing differently? Are they making them less thick? Are they making them less? Are they making them absorbent? Or what are people putting in these sacks?
It might be that the maybe Frederick knows the answer. Maybe the time of curing rubber, you know, is too long, and they are impatient, or you know, it accidentally got, you know, they notes, you know, this batch was thought to have been cured enough, and it isn't. So I don't know what the problem is, but it's something that, you know, there are pens. Like I think I sent a pen to Effextinol, and it was a bad thing, which I didn't know about, but he was able to fix it for me. I mean, he fixed it himself. So, you know, sacks generally are the easiest part of a pen to deal with. It's just sometimes, you know, sections are really, really tight into the barrels, and to take them apart requires a delicate touch and a lot of strength at the same time, and moving them in and out is not a good thing. You know, to do it once every 5 years is better than doing them once every 5 minutes. So
and I wasn't about to attempt any of that, because I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But I did try to take a peek with a loop through the little hole where the lever was, just to see if there was a sack even in there. Because when I pulled the lever, it like clicked, like this, and I was like, "Oh, I thought I broke it."
No,
but like,
it's
apparently that's a thing. You're supposed to release it, and it's supposed to suck up the.
Yeah, it's just a bad sack. So anyway, I'm happy to have the pen back, and I will. It may find its way with a new sack toward Melissa, because
I heard she might like
really likes. She loved the size of this thin Esterbrook that she got, and so that goes into my little brain and makes me think that, oh, there you are. You're right here. Learning how to put a sack in a pen is good. It's a relatively easy thing to do. The hard part in all of it is taking the section out of the barrel.
Right.
Because it's a friction.
Tricky, and especially when they're elderly.
Yes, 90% of them are friction fit.
Right.
But some are screws, and some are partial.
Oh.
There's some that are screw, and some screw the normal way you'd unscrew a thing from something else, and other ones screw the other. And usually the ones that screw the wrong way, to unscrew the wrong way, there's a little arrow with sometimes a little hand that's pointing this way.
Right.
Sometimes like this, just an arrow pointing which way to unscrew them. But the taking out the sack, the old crumbly sack, and taking the sack residue off the sack nipple is good.
So I wanted to tell you that I like these little pins. I don't use them very often because the size of them is too thin. But I do like to take them to the store, and I have the same problem with this pen that I had with the gold pen. They're very thin, and I can't really write with them for long periods of time. However, I do like this one. It's the Pilot Petite 1, and it has a thicker section, and I can write, with this one, it feels like a real pen.
I see.
But I don't know. These ones feel like toy pens,
Yeah, well, you have...
For small sessions.
Your
very grateful.
The thinness of the pen is important. Or the thickness, whatever way any buyer like you needs to know about pens that you want to buy. Anytime you can reduce or narrow it down to what you want, the better. So don't even look at a thin pen. And then you may decide that you don't like pens that are certain length, and then don't buy those. With Meredith,
heaviness.
Meredith sounded like she doesn't have a concern with that. She does not post her caps.
Yeah, I don't either.
And she doesn't post them for thinking that they are going to maybe wear out or harm the pen, which they will in someone else.
You jam them on there.
I don't think they would be a problem in your lifetime, Meredith. But by all means, do what you're doing. Don't change it on that.
Right.
But when I showed Meredith some of the pictures of the small pastel Esterbrookes that they made, but their length without the cap on them might be too small.
Right.
For use, just like this little golf pen.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little bit bigger than the green pen that you got from me.
Yeah.
But I think there's no way. Big enough to. I mean, if I hold the pen like that, it is. But I don't hold the pen like this. So it's completely. It's underneath the. What is this part of the your body called? This little crotch of between your thumb and your, what's this part?
The web.
The web.
Okay. The web.
The web is it's under the web.
Yeah.
It's
not writable.
It's interesting to hold a piece of pastel that way, or sometimes a piece of chalk might be that short, and you can draw with it or write with it, but with a fountain pen, and you're doing some very careful writing, I think you'd have a hard time being consistent.
Right. I'm putting shoes on because I'm getting ready to go shopping. My roommate's gonna be over in like a couple minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hang up shortly too as well. I just wanted to get on to apologize for not doing this when you were here to watch me. But
that's okay.
My main thing was I was very eager to hear how Melissa liked the boinga boinga-ness of the Eversharp.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was not able to. I couldn't hold back my enthusiasm for watching her until you got up out of your sorry ass out of bed later.
It's Sunday. I get to have one day off.
But I could have waited to play with my pens, but I was anxious too. And so anyway, thank you for the pens. Thank you for explaining.
And thank you for
letting. I'm glad I figured out what was wrong with this one, and I thought it was maybe that the sack got twisted. Sometimes they can, just like wringing out a washcloth, they can get twisted in a pen and they won't work. But it was something else which also won't work. But anyway, so we'll see you all later.
All right. Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
COVID-19, Melissa and I can get together. I think that would be lovely, Frederick. I think that would be cool. Or do it. I don't know when the Triangle Pen Show is, or wherever that Midwestern one is. That's good. Ohio, I think. So that would be a good one to go to. Okay. Be good. See you.